Hey, I'm Chris. Thank you for joining us on the Southwest Florida Business Podcast. I'm joined by Josh and Brian from the Grounds MMA Gym today. And I'm looking forward to sharing this with you because this is where I go for jiu-jitsu. And I recommend anybody that's listening that wants to try jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Krav Maga, all that, go check out the Grounds. I really enjoy the environment there. It's a great place to actually learn. And everybody there isn't out to kill you. Nobody's trying to break your neck there, which is nice. So as you go through, you learn a lot. People will teach you. They'll go back. You get choked by somebody or they tap you with an arm bar or something. The first question that I ask is, how did you do that? And they'll show me. And same thing, vice versa. If I do that to somebody else, they'll ask me, how did you do that? And I'll share it because as we learn and we get beat and we learn from getting beat and losing, then we can actually take that, apply that, and use it to grow. So that's my little sales pitch for doing jiu-jitsu. But I highly recommend it if it's something that you're interested in. It's a great physical workout, but it's also a huge mental challenge. And if it's something that you stick with, you'll end up learning a lot about yourself. And so I highly recommend checking it out. But we dive into how the Grounds got started, the benefits that we see personally from doing it, and then where they're heading next. So I hope that you guys enjoy this episode with Josh and Brian from the Grounds, and let me know what you think. And hopefully I'll see you on the mat. This episode is brought to you by Southwest Florida Podcast. If you're a business in Southwest Florida and you want to use a podcast to grow your business, scan the QR code on your screen or visit the link in the show notes at www.swflpodcast.com. Enjoy the show. Josh, Brian, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Of course, happy to be here.
Yeah.
Southwest Florida, baby.
Woo. So, I want to talk about the Grounds. So, you guys have been collectively choking me out for 3 years now, just after COVID. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I think it's just after. You said that. That's crazy. Yeah. Almost 3 years. So I came in there, I don't know, a few months after we were in the swing of COVID and just got back into it. So maybe let's start with that. What is the Grounds? Tell us about it, and then let's dive into the story of it and how it all got started.
So the Grounds is a mixed martial art academy in Southwest Florida. We founded it in 2014. So the spring of 14 is when I got my LLC going.
8 years ago.
Yeah, 8 years ago.
8 years ago this month. It's our anniversary of 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So when we opened the doors, it was August. So it's been 8 years as of this month. So, but it was a labor of love. Been in martial arts my entire life, since 1985. I was one of those Karate Kids.
Okay.
From the Karate Kid franchise. I was kicking my grandma. My mom was working. And eventually she's like, you're going to get your butt into some martial arts. So my mom being a single mom, basically said, you're going to do some martial arts and it's going to be your dad figure and you're not going to quit. And I said, okay. So that's how it started. So,
okay.
Yeah. But as far as the Grounds though, it's a unique gym. It's mixed martial art academy, so we have like several arts there. We have striking, we've got grappling, we've got reality-based self-defense, and we have an awesome kids program. So
yeah, no, it's a cool environment, and I do tell a lot of people about it too, which is I think it's got to be hard to spread the word about something like that. I mean, what's it been like growing the business, and what's been kind of like the main vehicle to have it grow? Like, what's been most successful?
Honestly, just saying, like, word of mouth is really hard for an MMA school, like you were saying. I think that's because people have a preconceived notion of what an MMA school is, but I think the biggest thing about what's helped us grow is the culture. It's cool people like you coming in every day. That's your everyday average Joe. You're not an everyday average Joe, Chris.
Excuse me, I'm extremely special. So
he's a blue belt.
So everyone's quit. You mean everybody else? That
yes,
comes in.
exactly. But it's cool people like that.
Did you like that?
I did. But it's cool people like that build the culture. It makes it welcoming for everyone. It doesn't matter if you are a 5-year-old kid who has self-discipline issues, if you are a 60-year-old woman who needs to get in shape to get off some of her meds and everything because of heart conditions. It doesn't matter if you're a guy in his 30s or 40s who just wants to get a good workout and hang with some friends. So
yeah, dude. Well, and the environment feels like that. Like, and when you go into schools, it's hard to like feel at home in a lot of places. Just and it's not a disservice to anybody, but it's you're literally going into a place where your intention is to learn how to like choke somebody or do that. So it's got the physical aspect of
real.
it. So you
It's
don't
real.
know.
Yeah.
You don't know. It's like, okay, are people going to be pissed off that I'm here? Like when I showed up the first time, I already had a blue belt, and I literally walked up to you. I was like, hey, sir, are you cool if I wear this? Do you want me to?
That means you're humble. That means you came from a good school. You know.
Yeah.
A lot of people that don't ask, you kind of question where it came from because if anything, with combat martial arts, they humble you. Right. And so you're respectful no matter what. You never assume anything. And there's a lot of traditions and things that are in martial arts, no matter what style. But Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, blue belt, it takes 2 years to earn, a year and a half to 2 years of struggle. And so, it's a respectful thing to do is ask somebody that, But it's the ones that scare me are the ones that don't ask, and they just come out with a belt like, whoa, where's this guy from?
Yeah.
And usually they're not the real deal, so it's kind of funny.
Well, that's actually one of the cool things though about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing is you can say all you want that I'm a blue belt or I'm a purple belt, but when you step on the mat, it's color show.
Yeah. Can you hang? Can you spar? Yeah, we can tell right away.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, and it shows. And actually, so part of that too that keeps me going back is like you do have to stay consistent to keep that level, because I stopped before I came back there. I hadn't been rolling for 9 months, and so when I got back on the mat with a blue belt, I was like, man, I don't know if I should still have this thing right now, because I was getting choked out by no stripe white belts. I was gassing right away. I'm like, all right, I got a real hard decision to make. I got to either show up consistently and just force my way through these breakers that before I can get out past the waves, or I got to give this up now. And I'm glad I kept doing it, because it's like a critical piece of my life, really.
For sure. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people go into mixed martial arts or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. For us, like, the grounds is a spot, like, the reason I opened in 2014 is when I went around locally in this area, I couldn't find a spot that I felt comfortable in. It just felt like what you expect a MMA gym to be. If you're a blue belt, come in there and then you haven't trained in a while, and all of a sudden they literally beat you up. Like, there's no, I'm going to help you through this process. We're going to beat you up and you don't belong. I remember in the early days when I started jiu-jitsu, especially in Southwest Florida, there was hardly no time to talk to newbies. They you're just fresh. You're a fresh piece of meat.
Yeah.
And they would try to actually spar you so hard that if I survived, that's awesome. I didn't break anything. I didn't, made a couple of bruises. But then the next class, I showed up again. They're like, oh, this guy's going to show up again. This is good. And they were excited about that. And that's kind of the reasons why I opened the grounds a little bit, because that's not how martial arts should be. That's what most people in these hardcore arts think it should be, and it's not. It's not a place that allows people to grow. Martial arts is a beautiful thing no matter what style. Taekwondo, karate, jiu-jitsu, Krav Maga. And so the grounds, when we made that gym, when I thought about it, it's like, I need to make a professional environment that has the respect tenets of traditional martial arts like Taekwondo and karate, but yet laid back atmosphere that can accept all types of people, from the amateur fighter to, the soccer mom.
Yeah.
And so I think we've kind of created that over the years.
Yeah, I think so. Well, so what did you get right about that assumption? What did you get wrong about that assumption? Like, what challenges did that mindset create that you otherwise might have been able to avoid by just being like a dick to somebody like right off the bat?
Yeah, I don't think we received challenges in the beginning. I think from day one when we opened the place, because I knew what not to do, because I grew up in the industry, from Taekwondo, kickboxing, to other jiu-jitsu schools I used to train at with in Naples, I realized that, let's make a more inviting atmosphere and make it like a family. And I coined this term. I didn't get it from anybody but mat family.
Yeah.
It's like it's our mat family. We spend a lot of time together away from our immediate families and our day jobs. But when we're together on that mat, we're a family. We're here to build everybody up,
Yeah.
Because the arts that we offer are not like katas and forms, These arts, they grind people, no matter what age. If you're a 5-year-old to, a 35-year-old, they're going to grind you. And it's hard. It's hard just to keep learning the art, let alone keep doing it every day and stay with it. And I think the beauty of what changes people, that culture, is that we keep inviting people back, but they go through that process, and it's not because they're getting better and healthier and stronger, but they're relieving stress. They're making themselves more confident. You know, when they walk on the street, they're not really afraid of anybody. And then the people that we sweat with every day are like our best friends. Yeah. You know, like Brian. Yeah. Brian's been there for 8 years. He's one of my best friends now because of the process. And now he works there. It's crazy.
I live there. I literally live there.
Yeah.
And I think in addition to that, it's that the culture itself, it's not watered down martial arts by any stretch of the imagination. We have guys who are amateur fighter champions. We have guys going and competing in jiu-jitsu tournaments and doing well. So it's the culture doesn't water down the martial arts. It honestly builds it up, because if the person with the least experience is getting better, that means everyone's getting better. Because you can't just have the top guys rise, because they'll only be competing with each other.
Rising tide.
So
yeah,
everybody lifts everybody up.
Well, and like I noticed too, the newer people there, it's the way that the gym is set up that it lets it. The newer people kind of know right off the bat, like, okay, let me listen to the people that have some color on their belt. Let me see what they're doing, because the new people that come in and stick with it, like I'll go teach white belts some things, and I don't even feel qualified to be teaching them some stuff, but I'll be teaching it, and they're listening and everything, and you hear it from other people. Like I've been going to the morning class, but you hear it from like Andrew. You hear it from all these other people that are like, yeah, man, just keep coming, keep showing up, keep doing this, and try these things, and you'll get better. Just keep coming, and you just start seeing these people like, oh, I haven't seen that guy in 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden he's back. Like, oh, I'm seeing him once a week. Oh, I'm seeing him twice a week. It's cool how that kind of mindset has gotten into everybody that's there long term and that's going consistently. It's like a foundational piece of it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in martial arts, the pursuit of getting better at all the things.
Yeah.
You know, Asian culture influences that. You know, think about like Japanese tea ceremonies. It's about placement and perfection in everything you do. From how I use my napkin to how I sip a cup, it's done to perfection. I'm always bettering myself. You know, my last rep wasn't my best rep. It's the same thing with martial arts. You know, we're always in there grinding, but we were better than we were 2 weeks ago. We were better than we were a year ago. It's that perfection, and it attracts like-minded people.
Yeah.
You know, I would hate to be honest. You know, a lot of people don't stick with it. You know, every 9 months to 14 months, somebody's quitting and moving on, and we're getting a new face in. But the ones that do stick with it, they're there year after year, becomes a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it becomes part of their core, and that's what we're looking for. You know, we want other people that are crazy about martial arts like us.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's what the grounds is all based on, basically, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
like-minded people.
Yeah.
100%. And so I guess let's talk about that. Like, let's talk about the journey that you guys have gone through to get to, in your case, the black belt spot. But like, let's talk about some of this stuff, because this is really, for me, this is one of the biggest pieces of jiu-jitsu, is just finding kind of the will to keep showing up and like deal with the, well, I'm really tired today, or like, oh, it's raining out, or like, you know, I ate a cupcake, 6 hours ago, so I probably shouldn't go tonight. Like all the things that make you not want to go. So like, what are some of the ways that you actually stay focused to just keep showing up? And then where did you guys fall off in the journey? How'd you get back into it?
Yeah.
And let's dive into it.
I think, so martial arts, inherently, any martial art's difficult. Like, why am I doing this stuff? Even if it's karate or taekwondo or kung fu, I call those traditional arts.
Sure.
I enjoy those. I did those for 27 years. So I originally have a black belt in taekwondo. I got it in 1991. Yeah, so it was a while ago. I'm a little old. I'm 44. So, but then, I quit those arts later in life in the late 90s, and I got into kickboxing. When I found the combat martial arts, when I say the combat martial arts, these are ones with full contact. There's no agreements like, hey, I'm going to do this now. You're going to block this way, okay? Don't hurt me. Ready, go. Those agreement arts, they're fun. They're great. But when you start getting a taste of the combat martial arts, that's when you realize, like, this is real. This is not make-believe. I mean, every martial art has an agreement. Like, I don't want to hurt you. Like, in jiu-jitsu, when we grapple, I'm not going to try to eye gouge you. I'm not going to hit you in the groin, right? I'm going to try to be cool like that. But the arts that pressure you, I feel that makes you better every time because you face adversity every class.
Every time.
There's some arts that you can go to a martial art class and do a kata or form, and it's hard. Flexibility, core strength. There's a lot of things going on there, but you never face true adversity besides your internal adversity. Like I can kick a little higher. I can hold that kick a little bit longer. But with grappling martial arts, with mixed martial arts like striking, Muay Thai, boxing, those arts, they constantly keep on telling you that you need to get better because you're getting hit, or you're getting get better because you just got armbarred.
Yep.
For me, that's what the passion is, the concept. Because I'm a traditional martial artist that got into it later in life because of the UFC and things that we've seen on social media and on pay-per-view events. I've evolved as a person. My martial arts has gotten better because of that. So I still find that exciting. You know, after I've been in jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu for over 15 years now, I still find it exciting. I still find it new. Like I think Brazilian jiu-jitsu is an organic art. It's still growing. It's not done. It's not finite. It's like somebody found a new entry to a heel hook. Whoa, how'd you do that? Let me practice that. Wow, that works really well. Well, here's the counter I think it is. And then we start playing with it. And it's something no one ever did a year ago, but now we're doing it every day in class because we found it. If that makes sense.
And the sharing of this stuff too is huge. Like Rafa Santos was there on Sunday or Saturday,
yep.
but and then we had Dean Lister not too long ago. I mean, just like some of these things. Actually, I did see Dean Lister was wearing a ground shirt on a video where he was choking out that comedian Andrew Schultz. He was like,
he was wearing our shirt I gave him when he was down here.
But that stuff of those guys coming in and teaching, we're learning so much stuff at the school, and it's constantly you're learning, and then it's somebody else comes in and has a whole different set of principles, and it's like, oh my God, this isn't this is this whole table, like what you can do and what the possibilities are.
It's never ending.
Crazy.
So jiu-jitsu, that's why it got to me, but also the people. Like I get to see your face every week. Oh, you're here, Chris. Let's have some fun today.
Yeah.
Brian, let's go ahead and work on this today. And then all the team that keeps showing up, that Matt family. So the adversity, the newness of the art, the people we surround ourselves with, it's just like I'd rather be here than sitting on the couch watching TV.
Yeah.
And then the benefits too. We can talk forever about the mental health, the physical training, what it does to your body. There's just so much positives that it outweighs the negatives of trying to punch your friend,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, for me, it's because I get to punch my friends. No, but no, for real, like one of the things like I talk about with people sometimes is you're going to have those moments where, man, this is hard. This is really hard. And you're going to have those moments where you're questioning, like, should I continue doing this? Do I want to do this? Well, yeah, of course you want to keep doing it because you have to dig deep inside. This is changing you. You don't see the benefits all the time right away where, yeah, man, grappling, that's only effective when I'm grappling. No, that adversity, that push through where I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep fighting. Oh, I'm going to make it another round. Oh, I'm going to fight through this submission. It's the same thing on the everyday life. It's, man, that meeting sucked at work today. Man, my boss was yelling at me. But now I have that mental push to be like, but tomorrow's a new day. I want to keep pushing.
Dude, yeah.
And that's what martial arts does. And so for me, it's not about just the adversity in the gym, but it teaches you the adversity outside of the gym. And that's why when people are like, man, this is really hard. I don't know if I want to keep doing this. Yeah, you want to keep doing this because think about the aspect that changes in your everyday life. Martial arts is just the vehicle for that change.
Solving problems, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, you have horse blinders on to the environment around you, and you can't focus on, I got to pay this bill. I got to take out the trash tomorrow. Hey, I have a plumbing problem in one of my bathrooms. The plumber's coming tomorrow. Like the everyday life problems that everybody experiences, you can't focus on that when you're in a combat or a mixed martial art class, in an environment, especially that's professional. And we have that in the grounds. You're like, oh no, this guy's going to break my arm right now. I have to really focus to get out of this, or I'm going to have a broken arm. But I mean, they're not going to break your arm, but they're going to take it to the point where you have to focus the tap to say this is a safety issue now.
Yeah,
which is amazing. So you're be no mind. Basically, I'm focusing on that element. I'm solving that small little problem this person gave to me. And you have to instantly focus on it. And after you do that so many times, day in, day out, and you keep your belt starts getting darker 2 years, 3 years down the road, when it comes to life problems, you laugh at them because somebody yelling at you, like, for example, road rage.
Yeah.
You like the guy's giving you a middle finger because you didn't go fast enough at a red light.
Yeah.
you have the patience and calmness now to deal with that problem, and it's because of martial arts. Like you look at this, that's not a problem. Just relax, buddy. We'll get going here soon.
It's gonna be fine. You're gonna be 5 seconds late. You think it's gonna be all right.
Exactly.
Plus, if worst comes to worst, I can choke you out anyway.
But no, dude, I think that's a good point, because part of what I realized too is that if you don't focus enough time, or sometimes if you don't deal with your problems outside of the gym and you come to the gym and you bring that there, all of a sudden you realize that this person is inside control and they're really close to choking you out, and you now realize this is the time to focus. And you're like, I made a mistake. I should have been focusing here this whole time. And it, in a weird way, if you kind of have that decision, right? Like I could just be like, well, that was really hard. I got my ass kicked. I'm not going to go back. Yeah. Or you can be like, actually, I think what I need to do is get my life together outside and just face the problems, deal with them. And that way, when I'm actually going and doing this other stuff, I'm not thinking about what I haven't done or what I messed up on, or that I haven't addressed these things. Like it kind of, you're right. It's like it translates to other pieces of your life. It helps me get my life in order.
Well, just think about the mindset of like when coach is yelling at you, face your problems, face your opponent. You turn your back, you're done. You're just giving them the most dominant position.
Yeah, there's so many life parallels. It's not even funny. I think the cool part too is sometimes we realize is like, you talked about having a cupcake or before you go to class, like you think secondly, like in class, like how's that going to make me feel when I'm in the mat? Should I eat that steak? Should I have that extra beer? Yeah. Should I have that dessert? And sometimes you catch yourself like, no, I got class tomorrow. I can't eat that right now. And I think that also helps too. So there's a compromise in your head. You're starting to think different. It changes you for sure.
Yeah. The strategy starts to go to the next level and spread out across your life.
And I think that happens after about 6 months to a year, and then, we talk about jiu-jitsu, there's only 4 belts, and the belts are irrelevant. But when you get a certain level, like blue belt, it starts to become either your lifestyle, because you already know you got your toe wet a little bit, or it doesn't become your lifestyle and you usually quit. And that's where we lose students at the blue belt if they earn the blue belt. Most people who start jiu-jitsu don't go to the blue belt. Yeah. And the ones that do go to blue belt usually quit.
They call it the rest in peace belt.
Yes.
That's what I've heard.
You ever seen those memes with the beer pouring out for the homies? Pour one out for the homies,
No, is it for blue belts?
Chris, I got about 100 blue belt memes. Don't you worry.
Yeah. All right. Definitely.
All right. Well, I'll be there for class tomorrow morning, so I'm going to have to see some of these.
Yeah, the martial arts thing is it's really cool, too. I mean, you asked me what keeps things going. Like, why do I keep doing what I do? I'm first and foremost a teacher. I became a school teacher because of the martial arts. Okay. And, I like helping people. I love, like, taking things that seem hard and then show them how I solve them. And then they get confidence through that. So if he can do it, I can do it. And it makes me feel good inside, Yeah. Plus, I also love having a community that I surround myself with that believe in the same things that I do. Yeah. It's funny. I mean, whatever your political focus is, whatever your lifestyle is, most of the people in the grounds were very similar. We didn't do that on purpose. Our marketing does not go after that certain type of person. But it's funny. That subversive lifestyle attracts the same like-minded people. Yeah. We have some outliers now and then, but it's just cool. So that's another reason is the culture, the people, like-minded, nice people, or people are goal-oriented in life, like want to do different things and just sit on the couch and watch Netflix, Netflix is fun though, but they try to, I love that dynamic, but I also love too, and this is me being a super geek right now, as a martial artist. I started martial arts in '85. The big bang of the kid martial arts in the United States. And no other time in the history of martial arts in the world have we seen a renaissance change of the arts. A lot of people, if you talk to people older than my generation, the 50s, 60s, 70s, Bruce Lee, right? Bruce Lee was that huge, pivotal guy who's like, this guy does movies, he does TV shows. Wow, he's amazing. He'll kick your butt. Yeah. That was awesome. Then he had the 80s and 90s, the Karate Kid moment where people were like, yeah, you can do Taekwondo and karate. This is awesome. And then you have the wave of the karate schools that hit over America, right? Yeah. And then now, in the early 90s, you think it's called UFC. There's a skinny, tall Brazilian guy named Royce Gracie that's kicking people's butt. They're twice his size. We're still living off that early 90s event where people now are questioning everything. and they're evolving in all the things. I remember a gym called Straight Blast Gyms, which was a gym that was unorthodox. They weren't doing traditional arts like Taekwondo and karate. They were adding like boxing in with clinch fighting, and throwing a couple knives and guns in there with some Jeet Kune Do stuff, and like they were evolving early, just way before the UFC event. And so like all this stuff is coming out now. Now the emergence of social media, online courses, YouTube videos, we're seeing another renaissance because of that. Right now, the best in the world, I wouldn't say in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu are the Brazilians anymore. It's really American Jiu-Jitsu because we're learning at a rapid rate because of the evolution or the renaissance we're experiencing from the 70s till now.
Yeah.
And I think that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Because no time in history have we seen a growth in technology and arts change so fast because of technology and things that we know now ever in the history of martial arts.
Well, and
it's really, really inspiring to be part of.
One of the cool things is that like we were talking about, is like everybody's sharing this info.
Yes.
So there's
it's legacy. Martial arts is about giving back.
Yeah.
If I learned everything I learned in martial arts and didn't give back to you, or I didn't give back to you, it'd be dead there. I die, it doesn't go on.
Yeah.
You have to give part of it. Like that's what team to me is so important too. Like legacy and loyalty and all that stuff. I mean, some cults are out there, but as a team, we're all helping each other out.
100%.
Where's your home? Let's evolve together.
Yeah.
And that giving back is part of our culture in any martial art. Because if you don't do it, it doesn't evolve. It doesn't get passed down.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think as all this stuff is getting taught, like you even see it from like blue belt to white belt at the school, is all this stuff getting taught. There's the hesitation in my head of, should I tell this guy that? Because then he'll be able to block that. And I'm like, no, tell him, because then I tell them and I can't do that move again. Or I at least, you're just like.
You're like the Gracies in the 90s,
Yeah,
man. The Gracies in the 90s, they put out videotapes that here's all our moves, buy these VHSs, right? But there were just enough information to get you in trouble. It was the counter to break the guy that didn't know anything, but it didn't have enough technology to beat them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the Gracie in action tapes back in the day.
We'll teach him, but we'll teach him wrong as a joke.
Yeah. Well, Kurt Osiander, one of my favorite heavy metal guys in jiu-jitsu, he's based out of San Francisco, California. He talks about, I'm raising snakes and they're going to bite me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and it's true because you're teaching them all your tricks and your technology, and
but it's cool to see.
But it's fun.
But it makes everything evolve. And then you teach somebody something, and then a few weeks later, they get you with something that you didn't expect.
Yeah.
And you're like,
whoa,
okay, all right. But it makes me now go, that can happen. All right. Well, I got to keep showing up. And it's like, maybe it's an ego thing. And it's not like, oh, screw that guy. It's like, whoa, okay, somebody can get better. So I have to keep getting better. But also, I just learned something. All right. I'm not going to put my head there. Like, oh, all right, well, they can choke me that way. Let me put my hands here, like block it.
Well, that's just it. Giving back to someone, the only way for you to get better is to teach them the counter, because now your move has to get better to beat the counter.
100%.
So that's the only way to get better, because if you're just going against the same guy and he has no idea what the counter is, you tap him 400 times, your move didn't get any better. You just tap the same dude 400 times.
And just wait until that guy who's way better than you shows up, and you go to do the same thing to that guy.
Yeah.
It's a Matt family. It's a Matt family.
Get pancaked.
Yeah, it's like the brother thing, My brother keeps beating me up with pillow fights at home all the time, right? And then eventually you start beating each other up all the time, and you know his moves. I know you're going to hit me with the overhead with the pillow, you're going to go under my legs and knock me down.
Yep.
And we keep evolving together.
Yeah.
I think that's the culture. It's awesome, you know? Helping everybody out. It's like that quote, rising tide raises all ships.
Yep, exactly.
We're raising all these ships because we're all in it together. So
Yeah, it makes it fun too. It makes it a place you want to just keep showing up and doing.
yeah. The next level is when you start going to competitions now.
I
Other
did.
schools,
I was about to say,
other
Chris
lineages.
just went to his first competition.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
That was his first
Your
one.
first IBJJF event?
Went to my first one.
Yeah.
I lost in the first round.
Yeah.
And
Great.
Represent the grounds.
No, I mean, for me, as a coach, I believe that everybody should try at least one. It's not mandatory. Some schools are all about that. We're not that place.
Yeah.
But boy, what does it teach you about you as a person?
made me stay consistent with training for minimum twice a week for at least 6 weeks, sometimes 3 times a week, just in preparation. And it's something that forces you to make yourself go, okay, I want to show up for this. I don't want to drive to Orlando, gas out, do any of this stuff. Like, I want to show up and do what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, when I went up there, I did the one thing that I told myself I'm not going to do. Do you know what I did?
I know what you did because we talked about it 2 days. Yeah, he
I
pulled
pulled
guard.
guard.
We talked about it 2 days before. I'm like, just don't pull guard. I literally said it his last class before he left. Don't pull guard.
And I said to
pulls
myself for a full month, I'm not going to pull guard.
Yeah.
But we were just like this for a minute, and I was like, I got to get something going. Wanted to go for a De La
It felt like an
Hiva.
eternity, but it wasn't.
It wasn't,
Yeah.
but it felt like it.
Yeah.
And then so pulled it, and then I couldn't get away from the guard. And my guard's but we've been drilling this half guard thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so finally I got out to half guard, went underneath to do a deep half.
Nice.
I sent him over, and unfortunately he technically did the wrong thing. Like he responded the wrong way.
Yeah.
So it took me a second to like re-switch my plans, and he just had enough time to like get back into full guard, and he won by an advantage point. So nobody got any points, but he got the advantage point. But that was one of the cool things where I was like, all right, I'm going to come back and do one of these because I was able to actually take some of the stuff I was doing in training and work it into a real event. I lost, but like I was happy about that.
Yeah, and that's what I think you learned more about yourself because of that event.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
But the bigger picture, like the coach mindset from afar, like, you know, looking away from it all, you just put yourself in a place where you got tested.
Yes.
Where in life have you ever been tested like this besides your job, besides your relationships with your family, your kid, your newborn baby? Like, you're always being tested, but everybody gets tested those same things. Like, how can I pay my mortgage? How can I keep my wife happy?
Yep.
How can I, we have the same problems. But when we pull yourselves out and give you a situation that most people don't do, and we still test you, it's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
It's like a rite of passage that no one gets to experience, and it changes you faster than any other vehicle out there. So, like, a tournament will do that to you.
Yeah.
Win or lose, it does not matter. The fact that you stepped out there and tried, to me, as a coach, is amazing. I just not only have you represent our gym, but you also represented yourself and tested yourself personally, and I can never mimic that in the gym. Mm-hmm. I can never mimic that unless we have a tournament inside,
Sure.
And I think those rites of passage are far and few between. People in this world they live life on a hamster wheel, and they never go out there to test themselves because they like to be closed in their own little box. They don't ever want to feel adversity, the grind, the scariness of somebody trying to actually attack me. And then when you actually do it, how'd you feel?
It was great, and I felt
the endorphins, the adrenaline dump, all those things. It's amazing experience.
I felt like a weight was lifted, and it's interesting too because I had told myself and told other people that I was going to sign up for tournaments in the past, and then for whatever reason, like I go to sign up for it, and I realized that the deadline was a few days ago or something, like all these things. But really, subconsciously, I know that I was trying to avoid it. And this time I was like, I am not giving myself any out. I'm getting this stuff ready. Yeah. I'm getting physically prepared. I'm training all the time. Like no matter how many times I tell myself, well, I guess I should just back out because the weather changed. Like whatever reason that you come up with, I was like, that's not what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to show up. And it's something changed. I don't know yet what it is. I haven't processed it yet, but
you're diving deeper into the sport too, and you're testing about your own jiu-jitsu, and you're questioning how you roll and why. When you test yourself at this level, it's an amazing experience, and most people don't ever experience that.
Yeah.
And to me, that's everything. And as far as evolution in the sport, now your belt got a little bit darker that day.
Yeah.
Is it a stripe? Is it the next color? Nah. But it got a little darker that day. You're now evolved as a person and in the art. You can share that now. You can share that next time you roll Del Hiva and pull guard in the gym. That guy that you're going to roll is going to, wow, his Del Hiva is really tight. His guard is really tight now because you've already experienced that adversity at a professional level. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
No, it's 100% true. Like competition changes you. It's a different mindset.
Yeah.
Stepping in the ring, Muay Thai.
Yeah. Striking.
Yeah, striking. That's a totally different ballgame than jiu-jitsu in itself too. Stepping in and you're literally put in a ring and it's two people. You're gonna hit each other. Your goal is to hurt each other. You're hitting each other as hard as you can, and at the end of it, you're friends again. But it's full contact fight. It's a fight, And man, when I did that, it changed my mindset on a lot of stuff. I felt the confidence I got coming out of that was amazing because I knew I could stand and hold my own. Mm-hmm. I've literally been in a full fight. And I know I can stand and hold my own. It's a different mindset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how I view it now. It's like, and I haven't done the striking really, and I know that that's a critical piece of just almost like my life game, if you will, that I don't have. But that's kind of what I tell people when people are like, "Oh, jiu-jitsu." I'm like,
it's a
no.
Part of a piece.
Exactly. It's like my whole thing is like, I don't think I can kick your ass.
Yeah.
But I pretty positive you can't kick mine.
Exactly.
And that's like the main thing.
I love the way you put that.
It's so true. It's so true. Like the people don't realize, people walking the street, you know, myself, I'm not a huge strong person. I'm in my mid 40s, right? Midlife crisis coming, you know. But when it comes to you know, carrying yourself, people don't realize what we're able to do in chaotic moments. These moments where we can nullify your strengths, we can nullify your attacks. It's a superpower. It's a superpower most people don't understand to tap into or take the time to learn because they don't have time for that. But when you make time for yourself and you surround yourself in a culture like our gym, you know, you start to understand the bigger piece and how it carries off in your everyday life, and it starts evolving you, and it's an amazing experience. It changes you in ways that we can't even quantify sometimes.
100%.
Let alone on a podcast.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's helped me. It's helped me grow this business. I mean, it is a big part, like you said, is those times when I'm thinking of maybe giving this up, or this isn't quite working as well as I thought, or I haven't become a millionaire in 2 months. What the hell? Like
you haven't. You're doing it wrong, Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, our gym. I mean, the first 2 years, it took so much adversity to get going.
Yeah.
You know, I sacrificed. I mean, to this day, you know, 8 years later, I'm still sacrificing time. You know, time's our most valuable commodity. You know.
Yeah.
You know, for 4 years, I was working at a gym before I hire a staff and understand business, you know, let alone, you know, keep it going forward and making sure we evolve people. You know, I think the martial arts, though, people don't realize, like, you know, there's more than just grappling too. You know, like, we're not just a jiu-jitsu school. You know, we're Carlson Gracie team. We're a good representative in Southwest Florida, one of the major gyms in this area, which we're proud of. You know,
we are.
Came out of nowhere. But we're also a striking gym too. We're a kickboxing gym. We're a mixed martial arts school. We also offer Krav Maga. We believe that these things are pinnacle for the total martial art experience. So if you need to evolve, like, start with grappling, but, you know, maybe eventually you try striking. You're like, wow, the striking stuff's pretty cool. I feel like a white belt again. And it keeps you going. So you asked me, like, what keeps motivating you early in the podcast. You asked what keeps motivating you is all these different arts to fit that puzzle together and package it in a way to get people motivated to keep doing what we're doing. And that's what we do at the grounds.
Oh, 100%.
Striking, grappling, MMA, like it's an amazing vehicle of martial arts.
Well, and one of the cool things actually about diversifying yourself with different arts is you've hit a plateau in jiu-jitsu at some point, correct? We all do.
A bunch of times.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But think about now if you're also doing kickboxing and that's the time that you're spiking. You feel great when you're on the kickboxing match. I'm not feeling great in jiu-jitsu right now, but I'm going to keep pushing through it because I got that kickboxing to fall back, and I'm motivated right now, so I'm showing up anyway. Since I'm there, I'm going to take the jiu-jitsu class. Yeah. Then you get out of that plateau. Oh, man, you're feeling good in both of them. And then, man, you plateau in kickboxing, but you got jiu-jitsu to fall back
It always happens. Like, when I'm bored and one thing, I'm like, let me jump on and teach Krav Maga today. Let's do some knife defense, you know? And it's just like, it changes the switch because you're going to have plateaus in all arts.
Yeah.
We talk about all the time as my staff to keep these guys motivated. I mean, they've already done fights. They've been in tournaments. They teach all the time. Like, how do we keep ourselves evolving? Well, going towards that black belt, you know, it takes forever, and you got to keep like having these highs and lows and managing those highs and lows. You know, what am I in this for? I know when I stop doing martial arts, I get very upset, you know, and I get very fat, and I get very, very tired and lazy. Well, and it's funny, right?
It's 100% true. Yeah. Funny enough, because you've had kids, you've taken time off of martial arts for a little bit and everything. I broke my foot at one point and everything. You don't feel like yourself.
Yeah.
You literally don't feel like yourself. You feel like a piece of you is missing. And you're like, what is this piece that's missing? It's martial arts. It really is. Like,
I've been traveling this whole month. I mean, I was in Vegas for a super show. I was in Italy teaching overseas at a seminar. And, like, I haven't been on my routine this entire summer. And I've just missed being at the grounds. The last 2 weeks has been so much fun teaching because I'm like, yes, we're back. And I'm sweating again. And I get to see the familiar faces. Like, I feel better now. And it's just because I wasn't taking time for myself.
Yeah. It's 100%. You're not you, and you're not doing martial arts.
Yeah.
It is a big piece. When I was out of it for those 9 months there, it felt like that could be the rest in peace belt for me, you know.
Yeah.
But something does keep it keeps calling me back to it. So I understand that.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So can we talk about like the start of the ground? So how did all this get started?
So basically, I started martial arts as a kid, and I actually worked in college at a Taekwondo school. And in the late '90s, it's actually a really large school. Martial arts schools, the amount of students and your gross and all that stuff, that's how they measure it in the industry. Most people don't realize that. Our school was almost 500 members in the late '90s. And that was a mega school for that time.
Yeah.
You know, a school in the 90s with 100 members was a huge school. We had 500, and we had multiple people and personalities there. So I got a taste of professional martial arts. And I actually helped pay some of my college tuition from that. And, you know, some of my early 20-year-old days was a blast. And, you know, I've always kept that with me. It's always been part of my life, my entire life. So I'm always a martial artist since I was 7 years old. Then I helped a friend open a Taekwondo school in Bonita Springs and in Naples, and it grew really fast. We had 300 members in 1 year of operation.
Wow.
And it was just me helping out part-time. And then I got bored of the Taekwondo world. You know, I wanted to get into my jiu-jitsu. I was already a kickboxer, and so I kind of stepped away a little bit and tried to study jiu-jitsu, but it was so hard to find quality instructors in this area. There's a couple good ones in here, don't get me wrong. Now there's a lot. You know, it's awesome how the growth in the last 20 years in this area. But I rented a room in Naples at a Taekwondo school on Macklin Airport Pulling, and I was my friend let me host classes in there 3 days a week, and I got a taste of this group, and it was fun because I didn't care about if people would stay or retain. I get to like beat people up, I get to hit people, and have fun and experiment with teaching. Those 20 to 40 people were the foundation of the grounds.
Okay.
And so I went down there, you know, just stressed out. I kickboxed, we sparred, we did some Krav, we did some jiu-jitsu, and we just beat the hell out of each other for like 3 days a week. There was no structure. It's not what the grounds is today.
Sure.
But it was fun.
Fight Club.
Fight Club, basically. It basically was Fight Club. And then
Wait, so are we not supposed to talk about it?
we can't talk about it, bro. Yeah, it's Fight Club. So at the end of the day, I looked at myself in the mirror, and my son was born, and I'm busy as a school teacher, and I'm really loving this. So I always wanted to open a school finally, you know, and everybody wants to open a school. Everybody wants to open a school. You're a martial art, I want to open a school one day. Everybody does. But they don't realize the work and the dedication and what really needs to happen to make that work. It's easier said than done. There are more martial arts schools that open and close on a daily basis than most other industries.
100%.
You know, like I'll just have it in my garage and it'll work. No, it doesn't work. You have to have a product and you have to understand what you're doing. So as a lifelong martial artist, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I'm going to actually open up a gym. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take my little savings. I'm a school teacher and I have a lot of money. And got some family money together, not a lot. We're talking like less than $40,000 together. And I opened up the grounds in Estero. And it was the scariest thing I ever did. Because right off the first month, I only had like $5,000 left in savings, and I had to teach every day by myself. I worked a 40-hour-a-week job, and I went 30 hours a week at the gym. I mean, it was crazy.
Just nonstop.
Nonstop teaching, signing people up myself. You know, getting gear fitted, like signing up appointments and
learning how to sell too.
Oh, I hate selling. You know, that's the first thing I actually hired to sell memberships. 'Cause I can't. I'll give you everything for free because I just want you to hang out with me and do martial arts.
Yeah.
So I'm the worst that way. But when I realized that was my, at first I didn't realize that was my weakness. As soon as I figured out my weakness, that's when we started growing. But then, the grounds opened up and, the first 2 years we're under 100, 200 members. It took a while because I wasn't doing the traditional martial art thing where it's all about kids. I was actually trying to do the opposite, where it's all adult friendly. I mean, right now we have over close to 80% of our clientele are adults still.
Yeah.
We have a big kids jiu-jitsu program, and that's evolved over the years because of how awesome our coaching staff is. They're doing great classes, and kids are it's infectious, and they're like bringing their friends and having pair night outs and dodgeball nights and jiu-jitsu and going to tournaments.
Yeah.
It's getting cool. But when it comes to the grounds, after those first 2 years, that's when I realized, wow, we made something. It was those 20 to 40 people in that fight room down in Naples that said, you should go do it because life's short. And I'm glad I did, But to this day, now we're at another level where, we're over active 400 members at the grounds right now. And that's awesome to say for a mixed martial arts school. And it's because of a team. And so now my goals are, let's find my black belts. Who are my black belts at that academy? That's what I want to work with. I don't want to work with the white belt anymore. I got the staff and the team to do that.
Yeah.
I'm here to help white belts. Don't get me wrong. I love working with white belts, but I want legacy at this point. In my mid-40s, I want people who are my black belts that are going to teach for other people or do their own thing. I want that team. And so as we grow now, my goal is to build that legacy and build my guys, my team to go out there and, just give martial arts to everybody in Southwest Florida. So
yeah.
It's cool.
So the success, it's interesting because the success metric for you changes from let me get my black belt, let me teach all these people to, all right, I did that and not downplaying, but like that's great. But now what I need to do is get people to where I'm at now so they can do the same thing for other people. That becomes a success metric.
Yeah, martial art industry, people don't talk about martial art industry. And the martial art industry is a huge industry. It's not the fitness industry. It's as unique in between dance studios, CrossFit studios. There's martial arts in between there.
Yeah,
it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and I don't think Southwest Florida has really experienced before us a professionally ran mixed martial arts school. They're out there. I mean, just across the alley here, we have some of the best mixed martial arts schools in the world.
Yeah,
American Top Team, but that's backed by millionaires. We Southwest Florida is backed by a school teacher that got started from, renting a room down at a Taekwondo school, and we're homegrown. We're raised here locally. And it's neat that we're starting to come up to these bigger goals where we want bigger facilities, 8,000 square feet facilities. Like it's amazing to show that level of professionalism. From your staff, just because you're a martial art instructor doesn't mean you have to be broke. People don't think that, Brian right now, he works full time at the grounds.
Yep.
He left Lee County School District to work for us because not only does he make the same amount of income as he was a teacher, he has better hours and he has benefits now. I mean, our staff has insurance and dental plans now.
Yeah.
To me, I'm so proud I can say that,
I'm proud to be part of it.
Yeah. It's really cool. Our next thing's like, when's the 401k plan coming on? Like we're talking about that stuff. So it's like professionalism in all things that we do. I don't think people realize what we do and how we do it. And we have meetings every week, every Monday. Wednesday right now, besides this podcast, we have our team working on skills to better our team for you guys, our students, you know. I don't know. It's just for me to keep moving on and how the grounds got founded. It's just we're evolving in all the things. And it's neat to see. And it's the people like you that show up every day that keeps motivating us to do so. We owe it to you guys to evolve. And we're evolving.
Well, that's actually what I like. The word that you use is evolve. The reason I like the word evolve that you use because you don't rest on your laurels. You don't rest on like, well, I've already done it. Like even in your jiu-jitsu and your martial arts training, you've been doing it 37 years. You still are like, no, there's more. I need to know more. I need to learn more. I need to do
Constant
this.
Pursuit.
White belt mentality.
Always.
If you want the definition of a white belt mentality, it is Josh, 100%, because anything he does, he looks at it as a martial arts journey, whether it is a business venture, whether it is martial arts, whether it is learning film. He looks at it as a progression of martial arts from white belt to black belt, and he goes into it as, well, I'm a white belt, and he keeps that mentality with everything he does. So he humbles himself to learn something new, and even though he's a black belt in multiple things, he still is learning to get better for everyone else and evolving. Our classes a year ago, even though it's the same curriculum, they are not the same classes of a year ago.
Yeah, I would agree. It feels different.
Last night watching Jits in our 201 class, we have our progression classes. Unreal. The leg attacks, the spin. Some of our guys are blue belt and white belts now. They're better than any other class I've taught. It's constant evolution, just like in the classroom in jiu-jitsu, even in business. Like I'm a different person. This all relates in the podcast. We go back to the beginning where we just asked about how this all started. We're always pushing to better ourselves. We're always looking for that Budo experience where I'm in the pursuit of making myself better. That's what martial arts are. That's what it is. And I mean, he just said it. I can't believe he just said that. It makes me like, well, get a little teary-eyed because he knows me so well. But it's true. Everything we look at, it's like a martial art class. I'm trying to evolve as a person, and I owe it to everybody around me to get better. It's the same thing on the mat. When we're in the mat family, training and grinding, I owe it to you to get better as a teacher. You owe it to me to get better by showing up. Inviting yourselves to tournaments and trying things that you normally wouldn't do or even thought about doing, but yet we're all evolving together. And that's the culture that explains the grounds. Wow.
I really think it does. It's about building a culture that,
and it's infectious.
Everyone,
You do it as an employee, as a student, you do it as a student. I'm doing it in my life all the time.
And to speak of the whole staff that we have pretty much always, we're all martial artists prior to being hired. We all went to the grounds. We're all in-house hiring. Every associate besides one, but he was one of your Taekwondo students.
Yeah.
He was a martial artist.
Tyler was a Taekwondo black belt back in the day before he came to us. I taught his parents with my buddy Chad Wilbur's school. They were black belts there too. And so I've known Tyler since he was like 6 years old. And isn't that funny?
Yeah.
And so but we believed in the, for lack of a better term, the product that was already being sold, and we got behind it.
We live it. It's not BS.
It's
not a front to sell memberships. It's not a money scheme.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. We just want you to be part of our team. It's one of those things.
We don't sell anything. We get you to believe the same way we do. It's not selling. It's we get you to believe what we believe because it's honestly
for
makes
example,
it better.
Your student tracking cards, right? We use that because we have a lot of people at our gym, but it's also talking about that goal talk. Like, what are you actually doing here? You can show up and be a number, or do you really want this to impact your life? Because everybody that walks into that school as a martial artist needs something to change in their life. They're not going to say it out loud. We're going to dig in there with you. But either it's losing weight, it's confidence because somebody assaulted you. It could be, I saw a mixed martial art event and I want to learn that stuff because it's awesome, or I listen to a podcast. Oh, he said the Joe Rogan.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's what all this stuff is modeled after.
Yeah.
That's a big reason why I even got into doing jiu-jitsu and checking it out. And a lot of times even that's a good reminder for me is listening to it and be like, all right, yep, I got to get back in there. It's been
Joe's
a week
a martial
and a half.
artist, man. He's constant pursuit of getting better in all the things.
Yep.
And that's true. And maybe it's something that you end up learning from it, but I've found that that's a big part of my life and a big reason why I started doing this and started my own company was I just wasn't happy where I was at. I was feeling stagnant. I was feeling like I was coasting. And a big fear of mine is when things are going smooth and you're kind of coasting and you're kind of, I don't know, you're getting a little doughy, even if it's mentally. What does it look like when that changes? What does it look like when the ground falls out from underneath of you? Are you prepared to make that change, or have you kind of been sitting too pretty in your life for too long where, oh, wait, I don't own my own business and all these changes happen and I can get fired right now and I've just been coasting for the past 6 months? What do I do when I get a bat to the face full of reality? Am I going to be able to roll with that? And I was looking at the way that things were going. I'm like, no, I'm going to put myself in a spot where basically, like we said before, life is going to I'm going to wake up one day, realize I'm in side control, I'm about to get choked out, and I'm not going to be able to do anything. And I don't want to be there. And
for sure, entrepreneurship is that switch. You're truly an entrepreneur. I didn't realize it when I opened my gym. I came out as a passion project. I love martial arts and I love teaching people and I love that community. But unfortunately, to evolve, I had to learn to be an entrepreneur. I'm still learning. I'm still learning so much. But that's that switch that most people don't do. They don't have the mindset to have that switch or get a team developed to make that switch. Like our team, Brian and Zeke and all the people that work at the grounds, we have that switch. We have one common goal is to make that company and affect more people with martial arts. Yeah. That switch is, that adversity. Like that's what martial arts teaches you. You're going to have problems in life. You're going to have to solve these many problems. How well you do it and how calmly you do it and how rationally you do it determines your success. It's the same thing when you roll in a jiu-jitsu match or a kickboxing round or open a business. It's the same damn thing.
Yeah. And you think, and it's it's kind of funny actually, because when I thought and I started this out, I was like, I've got this. I know exactly how this is going to work. I'll do this. I'm going to make a bunch of money and it'll be fine. And it's like, oh, that's not how it works. And it's kind of like how martial arts is. You walk in there. Yeah, I'm probably going to kick everyone's ass, and it'll be fine. Maybe I'll get punched.
Small, skinny guy gets you and chokes you out.
Yeah. For me, it was a 16-year-old girl. When I first did it the first time in New York, I tried it out. It was like 2021. Like tiny little girl. All of a sudden, like going like this. Next thing I know, I have something on my back. There's an arm around my neck. I'm getting choked out, and I'm like, am I about to...
Yes,
right
you are.
now?
Chris,
it's called life.
Right before you started that match, though, did you look at her and be like, I don't want to hurt you?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And you're like,
yeah.
And that's the cool part about it is it hands the situation to you and goes, okay, here's really where you stand.
Yeah.
This is the reality.
Yeah, there's no talking it through, right?
Yeah.
That's what's cool about the jiu-jitsu and the combat arts is that while you're in this process, you can't talk your way out of it.
Please stop choking me, please.
Yeah, you either pass out or you tap or you hurt something. Yeah. It's the weirdest thing,
Nap, snap,
adversity all the time. Yeah, snap. Wait, what'd you say?
Nap, snap, or tap.
Yeah, that's a T-shirt. Yeah, yeah. That adversity is amazing. So,
and it's humbling. Like you said, you walk in and you got choked out by a 16-year-old girl,
half my size,
half your size. That's so humbling. I think about like,
no
yeah,
bullshit.
think about the think about the big
100%.
dudes who walk in and they're like, yeah, I can kick anyone's ass in here, like no problem. And then like, Chris, no offense, you're not intimidating. I'm not intimidating. Josh is not intimidating.
I'm not intimidating.
When we choke that guy out for the first time, he's like, oh man, he either is like, I need to sign up now, or I'm never coming back because I got my ego checked.
And there's a lot of people as many people we service in the grounds. There's as many people we don't service, and it's because of those situations. They can't contemplate that just happened to them, or humble themselves to evolve.
When you
And
see it,
that's the hardest thing ever, man.
you see it with the aggressive white belts too. It's
The spaz white belts. The danger
spaz.
to us all.
what's really cool though is
Yeah.
when they keep coming and they get a little better, and then all of a sudden they start calming down, and I'm going into the role thinking like, all right, here we go, and then all of a sudden they're like a little calm, and you're like, welcome,
Experience. Yeah.
welcome.
Welcome to the game.
Yeah, welcome.
You're like, I'll
Welcome
start
to our
rolling you
chess
from
match.
now on.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true. For me, being the instructor and the owner, and then wearing the black belt sometimes, I roll these guys. I don't have to roll. I'm the coach. I'm here to help you, not help me. I've already done my time. But when you start rolling those guys, they're like, let me show coach I can kill him. So every time I roll people, it's like they're trying to, like, DEFCON 5. It's like, I'm going to break him. I'm going to show him how awesome I am. I'm like, this is not going to end well for any of us. I'm either going to attack you because I'm upset, or I'm going to choke you out quickly because I'm upset. Like, it's funny. That whole, we can be a whole podcast just on talking about that. But yeah, it's so funny, man. But yeah, martial arts is a great tool in life and in business, and it's hanging around the like-minded people. It's that culture thing. So yeah, I love it.
So what's next for the grounds? Where are we going? I know you got some big decisions ahead of you. So.
Yeah, so we leasing, commercial building. I want to own my own building, but right now it's not the time to buy a building. SBA loans with small businesses are there to help us, but it's just not the right time. Our lease is up this year. And so we're looking and we're in negotiations for a bigger spot right now, which is pretty cool. A bigger spot doesn't mean better. It's just it gives us more opportunity to service and offer more programs and offer more things. Like, for example, the arm bar.
The arm bar.
Yeah. Which is a coffee spot that we can grab a cappuccino after you choke your friends out. So
Yeah.
You guys want some coffee after being choked?
yeah, the grounds. Get it? The grounds. Yeah.
The grounds at the grounds.
Yep, Java, baby.
Hey.
You're gonna have to sell bags of coffee.
Yeah, we got to. We're just trying to add more things for our clients and have an atmosphere of culture-like things. So instead of just taking class and leaving, you can take class, grab a shower, or take a class and go grab a coffee and sit and talk with a friend for a little bit. Right now, our facility is just under 5,000 square feet. We have small opportunities for that. We talk a little bit. By the bathroom, get your shoes, and you're out. Like, I want a place where you're there. Let's spend another extra hour after the fact.
Yeah.
Culture, we want to have a recovery room where you get in the cold dunk take, instead of going home and taking a cold shower.
Yeah.
Like, this things that invite people to stay and hang.
Well,
Because we love that. We are there no matter what. Anyways.
So like
You even have it now though. We sit on the boxing mat after boxing ring after class.
But that's like a small thing of it, because we'll sit there for 15 to 30 minutes. But like, as coaches, we technically, our shift ends at like 9, like when class is in, but we're there till like 11:30. We've left at like 1 a.m. just because we're talking. We're not even doing it. We're just talking, and we want people to stay and hang with us. Like,
for sure,
it's about culture.
It is. Yeah. It's about getting to know people you're with, I mean, some of my best friends, heck, the best man at my wedding is a martial artist. It's like, you make lifelong friends for sure. It's awesome.
Well, and so what was it like? What was it like getting the black belt? It was cool to be there that day when you were getting
you were there, yeah. So I've gotten lots of black belts. I have a few.
You have three black belts, and then you have your...
Brian's like my right hand man. He knows everything I have.
And you're leveled high in Krav, and then you got some other belts too.
Yeah. Well, see, like, when it comes to like black belts, like when I was a kid, I always wanted the black belt because the Karate Kid movies and wearing a black belt. And I got it in Taekwondo. It was cool because there wasn't kids in my demographic. The 80s and 90s, there wasn't many kids until mid 90s when Taekwondo in schools really grew. Right, the industry changed. So it was nice to get a black belt then. It was neat. And it was cool, but it wasn't like a combat black belt. Jiu-jitsu black belt to me, in my eyes, is like amazing because it's a combat-based martial art. I also have a black belt in Duke Rufus' striking system, which is nice because I kickboxed and I did Taekwondo for so long that kind of solidified my traditional arts in the combat world. And so getting a black belt from one of the best striking coaches in all of professional mixed martial arts is really cool. If you don't know who Duke Rufus is, he's the coach that, of some of the big UFC stars we see today, Anthony Pettis, Paul Felder. I mean, he's worked with a who's list of professional mixed martial artists. So getting the jiu-jitsu black belt for me, though, was like a kid again. I've gotten belts before and I've been through several different martial arts, but when that black belt came on, it wasn't really for me. It was me, I checkbox. I felt like a kid again. Like, yes, I got the black strap I always wanted again. It felt like that. But for me, it was like a vindication of what the grounds is and what I'm trying to do for my students. Like, I can now give you authentic rank through the bigger organizations. For me, it was like, I can do it for my team now, and we don't have to worry about politics. We don't have to worry about, paying for seminars. Like, this is all in-house now. It was a checkbox for us to say, our team's legit and we have good people here, and that black belt means it's really for the school. And to me, I'm proud as hell because of that.
Yeah.
That's what it's really about. It's about teaching, And in jiu-jitsu, they have different bars on their belt, like a red, a white, sometimes a blue, a little bar on the black belt. And the white strap is for fighters, right? For people who actually don't really teach, but they have black belt level and technique, but they don't teach, and so they compete and they fight, right? And then the red bar means that you're a teacher, you actually help out, right? And then the white bars in the end of the red belt, of the red little bar on the black belt, means you're a professor, a teacher, all right? And so that's what we're going to follow the ground as far as when we actually award other jiu-jitsu black belts in our academy. The red bar will go first. Because there's no one in my academy, if they're not going to help teach somebody a white belt that comes to the mat, they're not going to get a black belt under me. And so the red bar is standard. After that, if you want to teach and you help out with some classes, then you get your professor stripes, which are the white bars on the end of the belt. And to me, that's what that black belt is. It's an evolution of as a martial artist. And at my age, started in the 30s, and getting a black belt in my mid 40s is just an honor. So
Yeah.
Did I answer that question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. So what does that do for you, seeing Coach get a black belt?
Well, for me, I think the coolest thing, actually, because I was actually present at him receiving his black and Duke Rufus striking system.
That was pretty cool. UFC headquarters, UFC fighters, and it's crazy.
I was up there when he got
Nice.
that. I was there when he got his black under Professor Vonderlei for jiu-jitsu. I've been there for all of his Krav levels under our current association. I even helped get the certificates ready for your one that would surprise you.
Yeah.
And it's honestly it's really cool, because for me, it's knowing that I'm not just under a really good teacher and a good professor and a good leader. I'm under someone who's a student, and to me, that's important. Like, if I don't want to follow someone who's like, well, I'm as good as it's going to be. I don't. I want to follow someone who's a student and wants to get better and constantly wants to help other people get better, because
wow, bro.
It's true though, because and so it's inspiring to watch it. And the cool thing too is because all of us see him every day wearing that teacher hat, but it's cool to see him be a student.
Yeah.
It's cool to see him get giddy and excited during a seminar and stuff like that.
I never get to do it.
It's the coolest thing, because it's a different Josh.
Like when Hafa's there, like teaching, I'm like, yes, this is cool. Let me try it real
so
quick.
cool.
You see me in the corner, try it. But then I walk
You
out.
do it with us.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest thing, because we all see him as Coach Josh. But like, when you get to like really be there for those other moments, you're like, oh man, this is really cool. He's a student. He gets to be himself and everything.
It's so funny, like he says that, because like when he's talking, I'm like, it's an honor for him to say that as being a student and a friend. It's awesome. But like when it came to the reason why I opened the grounds again, full circle again, it's like I've watched Taekwondo schools progress, and in the Taekwondo traditional arts, sometimes students kind of rest behind their black belt. Become a master, and the master has this big old gut. It hangs over their belt, but like they're old, so they don't really train much anymore, but they own the school, but they're not really a martial artist. They're out of shape, they're fat, they couldn't really beat themselves out of a Publix paper bag,
Yeah.
But yet they're a master. Like, no, you constantly have to keep evolving as a person. And so what I love about the combat arts and why I opened the grounds is I didn't want that to be my school. I didn't want to be some old dude fat going, yeah, I'm the head owner here. Let's go ahead and follow me because I said so. That's a cult. That's not a place of learning. And so if I don't lead by example, then how are other people going to follow, you know? And so for us as a team, we're always in evolution. That's what mixed martial arts is to better yourself, you know, always constant progression and evolution.
Now, I love the fact that he used the term master because the one thing you never call him unless you want to get hit is grandmaster. So if you ever hear Zeke and I walk
who calls
around,
himself a master, bro? I mean, I'm Josh. What's your name? Chris, right? Who is call me master or seafood?
Yeah.
Like,
So,
it's just some Western mysticism stuff that I can't stand.
Listen to Zeke and I sometimes. Like, we do it real subtly where we're walking like, I grandmaster, and like walk away.
Oh, they do that all the time because they know I hate it, right?
So,
if you notice, there's like these memes around the entire school that they put up. So the culture thing, it's fun, right? You got to have fun. If we're there, we also have to have fun. Yes, it's awesome martial arts and professionalism, but you have to have fun. Why are you doing it if you're not smiling and laughing?
Yeah.
So there's like these memes of the power of the knife hand strike. All right, knife hand strike is a traditional karate move, right? And so I always whack them with it. When no one's watching, I'm like, oh, do you know the power of the knife hand strike? And I'll smack them with it real quick. And no one notices it all the time. We do this all the time. But they put memes all over the gym. If you've seen them, they're out there. There's one in the office on the main mat. And like,
okay, we didn't put the one on the main mat. What we did is we put two in the office, and we didn't tell him. And he walks in to teach class that night. He takes it off the wall, walks out making eye contact with Zeke the entire way over, just eye contact, and slaps it on the wall. And this is months ago, and it's still there.
So it goes back to that thing about being a master in martial arts. Like, come on, you're a coach, you're a person. I mean, I know people want me to respect you, but the word master or sifu and all that, it's extra titles that are not needed. You know, martial arts is hard enough, let alone know what to call somebody. Call me Josh. What's your name? I'm Chris. Thanks. Let's go ahead and let's work.
Coach.
Yeah, coach is cool. I think coach is, for me, it's a place of like, wow, you want to call me something different as a leader in martial arts. That's cool. Coach is cool. I like that. But I hate the word professor even. I don't like those things because we're all people, man. Like we all start the same way. We put our pants on the same way. It's just, you know, thank you for respecting the time, but the school is there. So let's just train, you know?
Yeah,
exactly.
You never came off as like,
no.
Oh, I'm the shit.
Yeah,
you know,
there's schools out there like that in our area, unfortunately. I can't stand that.
Nah,
I can't stand that.
it's
not about me, it's about you.
Yeah, and it's like, like what are we doing here? Yeah, actually that's right. Am I here for you or am I here for me?
Yeah, and eventually it's a we, but it's really for you at first, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, dude, thank you for coming and doing this. This is awesome. So, real quick, you guys want to hit on anything else before we wrap up? Where can people find you? What do you guys got going on in terms of like programs? What should people like start with?
Yeah. Oh yeah, awesome. So I mean, getting stuff started, super easy. Depends on what you're into. People come in for different reasons. If you are into grappling and you know that's you, maybe you have a wrestling background, start jiu-jitsu. You you really want to punch and kick something? Kickboxing. We got people all the time want to just hit. It's awesome. It's a great way to take out stress.
And actually learn technique, not just fitness kickboxing. It's real kickboxing.
It's real kickboxing, applicable for the cage and ring. Yeah. And then, maybe you don't know what you want to do. Or maybe you're nervous to come in. Krav Maga is a great place to start because it gives you a foundation in both, in self-defense as well. So it's a great place to start and then build up into those other programs because we do a little bit of ground and Krav. We do a little bit of kickboxing. So if you can't strike, you can't fight. So we start every class of boxing. So that's a great place to start. And then going on, what we got going on right now, we've got our 8th year anniversary. We're celebrating that this month.
Yeah.
So
we already had a membership appreciation last Saturday. Mm-hmm. We had a guest, Carlson Gracie, old school Del Hiva, black belt, came in and teach.
So cool.
Amazingly cool.
That was such a cool seminar. Yeah. Thank you for setting that up.
Yeah, it was cool. To give back, right? Because, people invest in their time and their money to be part of our team. And so I wanted to give back, which was really cool. But we also have our anniversary sale at the end of the year, end of the month, which is our biggest discounts on our prices and our programs and our structure. We're very professional, straight to the point. That's on...
it's August 27th. It's going to be from 1 to 3, and we got raffles going on. We got Coach Zeke teaching an MMA seminar. We got dodgeball going on during it. Like, it's good stuff. So.
Yeah, so bring the whole family, come on, check it out.
Exactly.
You can find us on social. We got the T Grounds MMA on Instagram and then on Facebook.
The Grounds MMA Academy on Facebook.
Yep.
Sweet.
Good stuff.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
And I'll be there tomorrow morning.
Better be. Now I got to hold him too. If he's not, he's going to phone call.
Yeah. We're on
all right, fine. I'll be there. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome.
This episode is brought to you by Southwest Florida Podcast. If you're a business in Southwest Florida and you want to use a podcast to grow your business, scan the QR code on your screen or visit the link in the show notes at www.swflpodcast.com.